Welcome to our show. All the good ones
are taken, aka at Goat.
I'm MK.
I'm Alex. And this is our podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's definitely been a minute, unless you've seen our January mini-sode. And yeah, it feels really good to be back. MK, what's new with you in 2024?
What's been going on? It's going to be an exciting year. One of my very best friends is getting married.
Yeah.
So excited for her bachelorette upcoming and wedding. Both are out of Texas, so I'm
That'll
excited.
be really fun.
And, you know, we have some fun trips planned, including Alex's birthday trip to
Woo!
Broken Bow in a couple weeks.
I'm excited. I call it just the friend trip, but yeah, it's like around my birthday time.
It always is, and it's your birthday trip.
It's super fun. And I'm super excited, and I'm glad everyone's coming.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, what about you? How's 2024 for you?
Going good. I'm still working my job.
Good.
And thank goodness, because bills to pay, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, 24 seems to be going off to like a pretty good start. January took fucking forever, but other than that, yeah. But other than that, like, I'm excited. I'm turning 26, which is something that I'm trying to not think about too hard. We went on a hike the other day, and like Jeremy was like, because Jeremy, Jade, and Leanne and I are all 25, and they were saying like how this is the year that we're gonna like switch from like our mid 20s to like our late 20s, because we're all gonna be turning 26. And I was like, what?
I'd say that's 27.
You say 27?
Yeah,
it's like late.
I think you got another year.
Okay, I'll hold on to that. Thank you.
It's okay. I'll be the elder.
Yeah, y'all are the elders, like out of our friend group. But yeah, it's just crazy to think about. Like, time is just crazy. Life is just crazy. So yeah, yesterday was crazy for you, but also for me.
What happened yesterday?
So, nothing really crazy. Just like exceedingly embarrassing, and I wish I could like go back and like wipe everyone's memory of what happened. But
I have to know.
Anyway, so it started in the middle of the day. Our dryer went out, so like Jeremy called maintenance, right? So he came, and like it's fine, obviously, but like it's just always a little awkward and like weird when maintenance like busts in your apartment, you know. And no bra on, in my PJs, he comes in, right? I'm like, I work from home, but I also like work from home in my room. And like when it's like downtime, I'm like, you know, watching TV or like playing a game on like Switch or whatever. So DVD up on the screen, Rose toy out and about on the ground. I'm in my PJs. He comes in. He has to go into my room because that's where the fuse box is. And I was like, welcome inside my humble abode. And I had to stand there in my pajamas, vibrator out, DVD on the screen, and just hope that he didn't like take it too close enough to look around. My bed was unmade. Like it was so bad. And I was like, he was like, okay, so this is how you fix it. And I was like, yeah, like great,
like
thank
trying
you.
To kick the vibrator under the bed.
Yeah, I was like, great, thank you. And finally he left, so that was good. So that was like the first crazy part. And like,
oh, that's not it?
No, that's not it. It gets worse. Not worse. I would say the vibrator and like the DVD on the screen is probably the worst. But I don't know, just like I don't like people knowing my biz, you know?
Just vibrators aren't embarrassing, but being next to one like in your room just feels really uncomfortable.
And I wasn't even like doing anything crazy before he got
like,
there. It was just like it just happened to be there, and like, you know, but it's just like I don't need the maintenance guy knowing like my biz.
Which toys I like.
Yeah, like my favorite toys. Like I don't need him knowing my biz, all right? And he's very nice, I will say, but like
uncomfy
situation. So later that night, I go to yoga, right? And like lately I've just been like really fucking gassy, okay? Like really like really gassy. And like like farting is natural, and like it's gonna happen to everyone, and like it's just part of like literally being human and stuff. But there's something just so like mortifying to me about doing it in like a yoga class.
Loudly.
And it's probably because everyone's like in a state of like relaxation and like Like they're trying to like relax and like it's so quiet in there. Literally, class hasn't even started yet. I get my shit and I sit down, and as I go to sit down, I let one rip. I sat there and I looked around and I was like, I mean, because like honestly, what can you do but like laugh in that situation? And it was
Get
just
up and leave.
Like
That's what I would have done. I would have been like, no.
Actually,
can't see myself. Like,
not
I
even
cannot
sat
come
down
anymore.
Yeah.
Like, canceled.
I looked
membership.
at everyone. Like I looked at everyone. And I was like across to see what their reaction was. And thankfully, everyone was super chill and acted like it didn't even happen, which was excellent. But yeah, that was my day yesterday. So
That's awesome. So
I don't know what was
so
in the
happy
air.
for you.
Yeah. My fart. But yeah, I survived it. Needless to say.
Proud of you. Resilience.
Embarrassing moments happen and you just have to like buck up and get through them. So
Man.
Yep.
Crazy.
Happy 24.
Yeah, we are excited to be back. We are sorry we didn't do a book in January. But
We needed a break.
Yeah.
And holidays were like crazy this year. I felt like.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of, we'll go ahead and get into some of the changes we're making for the pod. So instead of doing 2 to 3 books a month, we're doing it to just 1 book a month and then 1 mini-sode a month until kind of I'm done with grad school and we have a little bit more time on our plate to continue doing this.
Just get stuff done. And like, I think it'll be good because what we're going for is like quality. Right? Like we don't want to do like quantity over quality. We want to make sure that we're giving y'all something that we think y'all will really enjoy and also something that like doesn't burn us out.
Yeah.
So I do think it'll be a good change. So don't get too scared or anything. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm excited. We have some really good picks lined up and just Alex has her iPad now. So we got some really good social media content coming your way and
Hopefully. Not hopefully. You will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So
I'm
here's
excited.
the 24.
Here's the 2024.
Woo.
Woo.
Before we dive into the book real quick, I did want to give a shout out to a couple of my Bookstagram friends. So shout out to Liz Jane Reeds, who is based in Australia. She's just been like super supportive of like.
Is she our one
Bookstagram
Australia listener?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe not, but maybe so.
I hope so.
I know she just followed at Goat recently, and she also just like I like put my hat in the ring for that Illumicrate, thing, and she like shared that post and just has been like super supportive and like comments on my stories and stuff, and I just like really enjoy like the community that is Booksta, and I just, it's fun getting to know other people. And then secondly, shout out to Bretwell Books, who has a great page. She's based in Chicago, and she gave me 2 books for winning her 3K giveaway.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm really excited. One of them is Do Your Worst by Rosie Dannon. So it's kind of like a magical romance.
Fun.
In Scotland.
Fun.
And then another one is called The Honey Witch, which I don't know too much about, but it's coming
cool
in
name.
May.
Okay.
And it's about like a witch.
Excellent.
Shout out to you. Congrats on having 3K followers. That's awesome.
Yeah, congrats. That's really amazing.
Yeah, love this community. So thanks, guys.
Love y'all, and thank you.
Moving into our book this month, the quote is, "I don't believe long-term commitments like marriage work out, but I do believe in love. It can be fleeting and undependable, rarely long-lasting, but I do believe it exists." This week's book is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto.
Woo! Woo! All right, so our 1-sentence synopsis, technically MK's because she wrote it, is an ambitious and independent wedding planner has to work with her grumpy florist ex on a celebrity wedding that will put them on the map. This might be familiar because it's on MK's Bookstagram for book reviews. And then this is what ChatGPT came out with. An enterprising wedding planner navigates the challenges of orchestrating a star-studded event, rekindling sparks with her irritable ex-florist in a captivating tale of love, ambition, and high-profile nuptials.
I thought that was really funny.
Extra. I love the word nuptials for some reason. I'm like, nuptials. Okay. And then this is the Goodreads summary. An ambitious wedding planner must work with her grumpy florist ex, whose heart she broke on the most high-profile wedding of her career, in the spicy and emotional romance from popular fanfic author Julie Soto. I didn't realize she was a fanfic author.
She writes tons of fanfic.
About what?
I don't know.
I'm going to look that up. Julie Soto. Okay.
So this is her first actual novel.
And she's coming out with another one.
Yeah.
About the cellist in this book, which I'm very excited.
Yes.
Did you catch that?
Yes.
LOL. Okay, I'm going to read it.
The book summary, it says, he loves me not. So dramatic. Mm-hmm. Emma Torres loves being a wedding planner, but with a mother who has been married more times than you can count on your fingers, Emma has decided that marriage is not the route for her. But weddings are amazing. As a small business owner, she knows how to match clients with the perfect vendor to give them the wedding of their dreams. Well, almost perfect. Elliot hates being a florist most of the time. When his father left him the flower shop, he considered it a burden, but he stuck with it. Just like how he stuck with the way he proposed to Emma, his main collaborator and girlfriend, or was she, 2 years ago. But flowers have grown on him, just like Emma did, and flowers can't run off and never speak to him again, like Emma did. Mm. When Emma is hired to plan a celebrity wedding that will bring her business national exposure, there's a catch. Elliot is already contracted to design the flowers. Things are not helped by the two brides, who see the obvious chemistry between Emma and Elliot and are determined to set them up, not knowing their complicated history. Add in a meddling ex-boss and a reality TV film crew documenting every step of the wedding prep, and Emma and Elliot's hearts are not only in jeopardy again, but this time their livelihoods are too. Ooh. This was so dramatic, and it told the entire story. What is this?
I don't know, and it really did tell the whole entire story. I didn't read this.
I didn't either.
And I'm like, what?
This is my first time reading it. I'm like, huh? Why did I even read the book?
I know, for real. Just like it sums it all up. Okay. But, I mean, I don't know. I thought, okay.
We'll get to it later.
Yeah, we'll get to it later. Forget Me Not was published July 11th, 2023, and is rated a 4.04 stars on Goodreads. The interconnected standalone called Not Another Love Song comes out July 16th of this year about rival wedding cellist. Interesting, because he sounded hot.
I'm excited.
And I used to play the cello, so I am intrigued. Originally from Sacramento, Julie spent many years bouncing between New York and California before eventually settling in coastal Fort Bragg, California. A theater and fandom nerd, Julie can tell you the name of any Buffy episode if you pick a number 1 through 7 and another 1 through 22. Interesting. With her poodle Charlie, she spends her days writing rom-coms and YA thrillers, and at night she falls asleep. Yes, ma'am. Okay. She spends her days writing rom-coms and YA thrillers, and at night she falls asleep to Pride and Prejudice 2005 in the background. Yes. As a playwright, Julie's musical generation Me won the 2017 New York Musical Festival's Best Musical Award, as well as Best Book for Julie's work on the script. Excellent.
I didn't know you were a cellist, actually.
In middle school.
And fun. Okay, so when we were thinking about like what romance book to do for this month, I like sent a couple to Alex, and she's like, "Let's do this one because he looks hot."
He is hot. He is hot. The cover is hot. Okay. I like a man with a tasteful man bun. Not every man can pull it off, as you can see here. He pulls it off. All right. And Elliot is a hot name, and he is a florist. Hot all around.
Hot all around.
The other one was like Chess or something. And
yeah. That's fine.
We'll cover it later, perhaps.
It's a Allie Hazelwood.
I do want to read her.
I do want to read Brad.
Yeah.
So, onto our thoughts. This book takes place in Sacramento, and as I was reading the acknowledgments, I actually didn't realize that Soto didn't mean to make Sacramento such an integral part of the book, but it became such a big part.
Yeah.
She grew up there, and so she just like placed the book there because she was familiar with it. And so I was just wondering, have you been to California? Have you been to Sacramento before?
I've never been to Sacramento, but I've been to like multiple places in California before. What about you?
Cool. Yeah. I've been to LA with my drill team back in high school, and like Anaheim. And then I'm going to San Diego for Madeline's bachelorette party.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Y'all are going to have fun. San Diego is beautiful.
I have never been. So
Y'all should go down to like La Jolla if y'all have. I don't know what y'all have planned, but.
She's very like naturey, so probably doing something like that.
There's like seals around there. Go see the seals. Beautiful.
I'm going in early just so I can go
like poke around.
Frolic in the zoo.
Yeah.
Because it's like the best zoo in the nation.
Yes.
So
you should do that. Excellent. I'm excited for y'all. Y'all are gonna have fun. Madeline, congrats, by the way. I've met you only one time drunk at the dance floor of MK and Shelby's wedding, but congrats. Where were we?
The beginning of the book.
Oh yeah, Okay. So. Before we get into it, when I was like doing a part of the notes, like I like to like auto dictate it because it's like just easier for me to like, and it's quicker in my opinion. But what I thought was funny is that like every time I said Emma, it like auto corrected it to Emma.
And that's how Elliot says Emma.
I thought it was cute. All right, go for it.
I would hate it so much if someone
was like messing up your name,
purposefully like messing up my name.
Yeah, in the book, her name is spelled A-M-A, and like he pronounces it like Emma, but it's like Amma, and like she finds it hot, but I honestly would be like, no, you need to call me by my actual name.
She does for everyone except him, so I guess it's like the like.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Well, even she says it's like because like you're too lazy to like say Amma.
Yeah.
Power to you, girl, but
no, I'd be pissed.
Thank you. Yeah.
So Amma, as we've mentioned, is our female main character who is a wedding planner in Sacramento. It opens in the month of March in Amma's point of view. And she is currently at a wedding, and she tells us her 5 rules for planning a successful wedding. So 1, no live animals. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm, I agree. Mm-hmm. Except if your like pet is like the ring bearer or something.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That's cute.
Yeah.
2, DIY doesn't mean the wedding party will do it themselves. It means the couple went on Pinterest and now it's the wedding planner's problem. I thought that was so funny because that's funny. So accurate.
Is it accurate?
Yes.
I've obviously never planned a wedding. I've helped with like some weddings, but like that's funny to think about. 3,
a nightclub DJ and a wedding DJ are not interchangeable.
I thought this was funny.
I thought that was very funny.
Was really funny.
And our DJ was very adamant about that.
Yeah.
He was like, I do it different.
Y'all's DJ was excellent.
He was fantastic.
I mean, I was inebriated, but it was an excellent time. Like 10 out of 10.
4, don't ever find yourself alone with a groomsman.
That's facts. As a guest to multiple weddings, that's facts. The groomsmen, I don't know what y'all are on.
They just think it's like
a
recess.
free for all.
Yeah, like they don't. I don't know.
Like vagina recess. It's gross. Stop it. I understand having a good time, but stop it.
5, always talk them out of the gazebo. Always. I thought that was funny because the reason why was because of the way that the awning is like casts a shadow on their face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think are good wedding planning rules to live by. So honestly, if you're getting married soon, listen to those things. Obviously, this book revolves around weddings, and having just gone through the wedding planning process back in 2022, it was fun and nostalgic almost to like reminisce about my wedding. And like just kind of like the stress and anxiety of planning a wedding. I mean, like I wish I had their budget, but
their budget was insane.
Upsettingly.
I don't know. This is a big fucking if, and Mom and Nana, I'm talking to both of you. If I ever get married, okay, most likely we're doing a backyard wedding, okay, and we're having like meats and cheeses, but like nice meats and cheeses at like a long table, and there's flowers, and then we're all gonna get barefoot and dance.
That sounds like you.
Yeah.
But even though it's like stressful, ultimately it's like the love of the season that's just like fun and like cute and whatever.
Yeah.
But Emma talks a lot about how she can tell the proposal story based on how they tell it and what the story is.
I think this is facts.
If the couple will end up together.
Yeah, I think this is.
Yeah.
I see what she's talking about. Yeah.
I agree. So do you want to hear my proposal story?
Yeah, of course. Tell us your proposal story.
Y'all
I actually
can
don't think
judge.
I've ever heard this, which I'm shocked because I love hearing about it.
Well, so fun fact, there's 2.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it's kind of a long story, and both of us are pretty sentimental. So it has like a lot of like, well, we did this because of that kind of thing.
I act like I haven't heard this, but like she was actively texting me while it was happening, kind of.
Oh, was I?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
So I know what you're referring to now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
we lived, as many of you know, lived in Ireland for a little bit. And we found this beautiful jeweler, and it's like woman owned, ethically sourced, just like a all around doll of a human. And since it was like Irish owned, we decided that's where we wanted to get my ring. And I fell in love with like the gray diamonds that they had. So we decided that's what we wanted. And just because I'm like the cost and like feminism and equality, I was like, let's just split the cost of it.
Yeah.
And like, we'll propose to each other together.
Aww.
And what ended up happening was the ring did not come in time for the trip that I had planned.
I remember this. Yep.
And so I was still going to propose, but I told him that I wasn't. And so
This was in Arizona, right?
yeah, so
Yep.
we went to Arizona on St. Patrick's Day, and we booked this like train ride.
Which was beautiful.
It was, oh God, it was so beautiful and fun and just like an all around great time. And so I had emailed them previously saying that I was going to propose, and they gave me a couple options of like what I could do. And there's this one part where it like goes through a mountain, so it goes completely black, and then like a lot of people will like pop, like get on their knee during that time.
That's fun. Yeah.
I was dumb though. Like I thought the lights would go off inside the train too. Like I just didn't think about it. And so like the guy came by and was like, okay, like go outside if you want to see the tunnel or whatever. And I was like, no, like I have it. Cause I had like this giant box that I was giving him to.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like we'll stay here. And so we like go through the mountain, the lights are still on. And I was like,
interesting.
and, but I was like, just like close your eyes real quick. And then like I brought out the box, and it was a box that I had like Mod Podged him for when he went away to college when I was still in high school.
That's adorable.
Of like movie tickets and like old picture and things.
That stuff.
And then inside of it I was planning on doing something different, but I didn't have time. So it was just like little strips of, I think it was how I asked him to prom. It was like we have 99 memories. Let's make prom our 100th or whatever.
That's cute.
And that was just like in the box already.
That's cute.
And then I had his ring there. And then I had that picture that I drew, that one.
Which is a really cute picture that I later copied.
Yeah. And it was just like pictures of all the places we had been together that I redrew. And then it said home is wherever you are. And so like that was our proposal, and I put the ring on his finger, and he like put out his wrong hand, and he's like, I'm glad we're doing this now so that like
we can figure it out by the time it comes around. Yeah.
And there was like a group of older people at the table next to us, and they kept like looking at us, and I was just like, I don't know how to like.
They kind of like recorded y'all or something just for like, because like I feel like when I've never seen a couple getting proposed to in real life, but like if I ever saw a couple, I'd be like, I'll send this to you later. Like
that's what I did at Amy's bachelorette party.
Aww.
We went to this like beautiful garden plantation, and someone was getting proposed to, and like I videoed it.
Yep.
It was very cute.
Exactly. Did y'all cry?
Not at that one.
Yeah.
But when the ring came in, Shelby proposed. So he planned a day of surprises for me. So we woke up and like went on a walk in Addison where like we lived together, and like played Pokemon Go and like did a walk. And
that's cute.
Then we went to Interrobang, an independent bookstore, and like had me buy 2 books. And
cute.
Then we went to like a local winery, and then we ended up at Antonio's, which is a restaurant in Addison.
Yeah, that's where y'all went for y'all's
anniversary.
Yes, that word. Yes.
And it's Madeline's family actually knows the owner.
Cute.
And it was just like, oh God, they have such good ravioli. And just at dinner, he proposed, and that's when we both cried. And like neither of us really said anything. It was just like I didn't expect to cry.
Like
but
it's like the time, you know, just when it hits you.
Yeah, and that's when another table actually did take a picture of us.
Good. Shout out to those people.
They were very drunk and they were very blurry. So
okay. Well,
it's the thought
memory.
That counts.
Yeah, the memory. That's beautiful. What a beautiful time.
But yeah, very
and
fun.
Here
and
we
that
are.
was like 3 weeks apart, I think. Maybe.
Yeah. I thought it was so badass that you were like proposing in Arizona. Like I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It's a good time.
And now it's been a year later, over. Crazy since y'all got married.
Yeah, it's been almost a year and a half since we got married. So.
That's insane. Because I remember we were together the night on y'all's anniversary. We all went out to the club.
Oh, did you?
We
did?
We all did.
God, we did. That's right.
Because we were all like,
I forgot.
Congrats to MK and Shelby.
That's right.
So that's crazy that was 6 months ago, because that feels like 2 weeks ago.
I said almost a year
like
and a half.
Around.
Yeah.
It's been a couple months. That's crazy.
It is crazy. Anyway, so
beautiful.
What do you think? Will we stay together?
Oh yeah, 100%. At this point, are y'all fucking kidding me? Y'all were like married at like 15.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, basically. So also it'd be very problematic if y'all weren't together.
Our friends would have to choose sides.
I enjoy our friend group as it is. So not to mention like emotionally devastating.
I think that's the part that I'm like more concerned about, but like
I'm like the friend group. No, emotionally devastating for all of us, me especially.
Because I will lose my friends.
Because a couple that I love will be separated and anyway. Okay. That will never happen.
Back to Emma. We learn that she has a plethora of ex-siblings who help her at these weddings. There's Mar, who's essentially described as like a beautiful Indian goddess, who is the photographer.
I love how that's like her only description, like photographer, beautiful. Like that's pretty much all we know about Mar.
Yeah. She's a great photographer, and Emma tries to hire her for most of her weddings. There's Sarah, who couldn't care less and is honestly just there to get paid, who acts as her assistant. And then there's Jake, who is her current step sibling. He's a sophomore theater major at a nearby college and has great enthusiasm for wedding planning, but perhaps too eager and ends up messing up things sometime. And that's pretty much all we know about these people.
And that's all we need to know.
The wedding that she is currently at is for a bride named Eloise, who is having doubts. It says dates.
Having dates. Interesting.
Interesting time to have dates. No, she's having doubts. And she says, is it worse to have a wedding for the fun of it when you know it's not going to be your last wedding? Which is kind of sad.
That is sad. Why would you say that?
I don't know. We learn that Emma's mom has been married 16 times and has 20 current and ex step siblings in Sacramento. And only one of the 16 weddings was at City Hall. All the others were like full on weddings.
I mean,
she must be rich as fuck.
I was going to say, because that Moneybags, Mrs. Moneybags, that's what her name is, because that is insane. 16, right?
Yeah.
16 times. And all those men.
You can't. Who are you gonna date at that point?
I know, like everybody in Sacramento, like line up, baby, because you're next on the list. You're gonna be number 17. That's crazy.
And like, imagine like poor Emma. She has 20
trauma
ex step siblings too. Like,
yeah.
Every corner you turn is another step sibling.
As we can see, traumatic in this story for Emma, for sure. And like, I feel bad because I feel like she tries to give every step sibling like, I don't know, like a chance at like, you know, like she's like, hey, like we're step siblings, like whatever. Like I feel like she tries to have a relationship with them.
Because she doesn't have any siblings.
She doesn't have actually any siblings. And it's like, oh my God, but that many?
Crazy. So she gets Eloise situated and they have a great night and it's a perfect wedding. I thought this was a really good, like, first chapter. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of the times you don't see the purpose of a first chapter very much. And I thought this was a very good introduction to the story.
Yeah. I was a little skeptical at first. Like, I was like, okay, where is this going to be good? But then...
Yeah. Isn't that always the question?
Yeah. It is always the question. And I loved this story, so.
Yeah, me too. Emma's wedding brand is millennial, modern, affordable with a personal twist, which I like laughed out loud when I read that. I was like, okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's brand. That's marketing.
That is, yeah.
That is marketing.
Like, put a TM on that, man.
Yeah.
She needs a high-profile wedding to get her name on the map so she can start bringing in money to hire more people, not just her current and former step-siblings.
LOL.
And so she can take on more weddings. A social media influencer who has a makeup line named Hazel Renee is getting married in Sacramento and reached out to her, but she's like trying not to get her hopes up. Her previous boss always told her not to expend so much of herself in people she'll never see again.
I didn't like the bitch from the beginning. Did not like her. First of all, I kept saying her name is Whitney Houston in my head.
Me too.
But her name was Whitney Harrison. And I didn't like her. I don't know. Something about an older woman just like reeks, in that position specifically, just like reeks jealousy and like.
She just gave like big Karen vibes. Like
she was so like demeaning and like everything she said was just like, I don't know, so petty, but not, it was like nice petty. It was gross.
It was super passive aggressive.
Yeah, there we go. That's the word.
Emma's weakness and Emma's mind, based off of all of the feedback that she's gotten from Whitney, is that she blurs the professional lines with her clients and vendors by trying to make personal connections, and claims that it always gets her in trouble, which... If you're doing it with a personal twist, you got to be personal. Like, I don't...
How can you not get personal when you're like, your business is weddings? Like, I'm sorry, but like...
It's the most personal thing.
It's like the most intimate. I mean, maybe not the most intimate, but like it's up there, you know? So I don't...
If you want to be good at wedding planning, you got to know the couple.
Yeah, like I feel like... And like just taking the time to get to know the couple. And that's exactly her point. Like she takes the time to get to know the couple so that she can create a personalized, like very detailed wedding for them. And I think that's like, isn't that the point? Like, isn't that what you pay wedding planners for?
Yeah. So she meets up with the social media influencer, Hazel. And this is interesting to me. She always brings donuts to a client or vendor meeting. And that, like, especially when she's meeting with potential clients as a tactic to like figure out a lot about the couple. So like, are they stress eating? Are they dieting? How does the guy address the donuts towards the girl? Like,
that's smart.
Yeah.
That's
honestly, very good. So she, like, anytime she meets with clients throughout this book, it's just like with a dozen donuts.
I think it's cute.
It's
like Emma's
cute.
So cute to me.
Yeah.
Like as a character, I'm like, oh, Emma. Like
she had
adorable.
such a very like quirky and lovable personality.
Yeah.
Like I really liked her personality a lot.
I agree.
So they meet at a coffee shop and they get along like really well. Jackie grew up in the area and as did Emma. And they graduated high school the same year I did.
Aww.
Which I was like,
cute.
Why is Jackie in government and making $1 trillion billion?
And what am I doing here?
Yeah. Anyway, they already decided that they wanted to go with Emma as the planner before they even got there. They had dates in mind, but wanted Emma so much that they waited to book the venue so that they could confirm with her. They wanted to get married October 7th at McKinley Park Rose Garden, and we got married October 8th.
Cute.
And Emma's like, oh, great. However, that's just a few months from now, since it's March. And Hazel will be away filming a movie. So it's mainly just going to be Jackie planning this wedding. Suddenly, it becomes very clear that she can't do this wedding because she was recommended to the brides by Jackie's coworker, the senator, who is also Emma's ex's mother. Emma was the wedding planner for the senator's wedding, and we will learn that while the wedding was perfect, it ended really rough for Emma and Elliot.
Like really rough.
So then it switches to Elliot's point of view.
Which I like. I like the switch POV.
I thought it was so cool. Like, so I love a dual POV, but I also thought it was really interesting to have her in the present and him in the past.
I thought that was cool.
That was very unique, and you don't see that often.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool because, and I think I say this later, but without Elliot's point of view, you wouldn't know
Any
that
context.
he loved her.
Yeah.
You know?
Any context.
And that too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I guess because of the way you're saying, because how he was acting in the past. Yeah, because
he was like, he acted like he was just like pissed
very
at her.
nonchalant about everything, which is, I give him side eye for that later.
So it's Elliot's point of view, and every time it's Elliot's point of view, it like is counting. So it's 5 years, 4 months, 3 weeks, and 5 days ago. Aw.
Tears.
So Elliot's dad is the owner of the family floral shop called Blooming, and his last name's Bloom. So that's free and precious. Obviously, Elliot's dad loves flowers and often says that flowers are better than people because they just need water, light, and attention. Elliot, growing up, doesn't like flowers and argues that that's all people need too. And I was like, sweet baby, naive Elliot.
Little baby Elliot.
So although his parents are divorced, they regularly check in with each other, and that's how they find out that his dad is sick with cancer. So
yeah.
Elliot helps him out for weddings while getting a degree in architecture. The first time he sees Emma, she is talking with a groomsman. Rule number 4. She's talking with a groomsman about the balloon arch.
Don't do it.
And he starts to touch her inappropriately, and she punches him in the face.
As she should.
As she should. Elliot sees the whole thing happen and is infuriated by it. Like, he totally agrees with Emma that, like, she should have punched him, you know, like,
yeah,
whatever.
Then he probably should have gone to talk to her. But anyway.
We'll get to it. Whitney Harrison, Emma's boss, is pissed at her for getting involved with the clients and making a scene. Roll my eyes.
Come on. She could have filed like a report for real.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and he argued he was going to press charges, the groomsman, because
be fucking for real.
Don't touch people.
And like, as a woman who is like the boss of other women employees, like, stand by your ladies. Like, I don't know what, like, why would you be on his side or anyone's side in that situation if they did that? Like, she annoyed the fuck out of me. Anyway.
He tries to bring her ice. So Elliot tries to bring Emma ice for her hand, but he doesn't know how to talk to her, and she turns away so he can't see her tears. So when his dad arrives, he gives him the ice and tells his dad to go check on her. I thought it was cute.
I think it is cute, but I'm like, help the girl out. I'm sorry if you're nervous. Help the girl out.
So here's the quote, or how it was in the book. It says, I hand out the handkerchief and ice out to him. I'll get the centerpieces. Do you want to check on her? He takes the handkerchief and then looks at me. Don't you want to? I shrug. I'm not good at people. You know that. He smirks. He sends me a smirk as he walks toward her. You're no good at flowers either.
Damn.
I thought that was very funny.
It is funny.
And
I
just
like Papa Blooming.
Yeah, he just like is such a good person.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's as Elliot mentions later, he loves that Emma knew him.
Yeah, I think that is special.
Yeah.
And important.
And he doesn't take anything seriously, I think was what the point of me saying that was, is like, don't take it so seriously. Like, just go talk to her.
Yeah, like that. Elliot is so in his head.
Yeah.
And like so like serious. And it's just like, just take a breath. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't need to be this long drawn out conversation. Like, literally just hand her the ice. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, it's okay. Sweet Elliot. I feel like I know people like Elliot, and it's just like, just take a breath. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, she wants to know that you thought about her.
Right.
Like,
I'm not even saying like a romantic way. Like I'm saying like she just went through like a stressful situation.
She wants to know people are on her side.
Yeah, she wants to know that she has like someone like solid and was like, oh, okay, that was fucked up. Let me help you. Period. You don't need to be like, I'm Elliot Bloom and I'm in architecture and I love you and later we're gonna want to get married.
Yeah, just hand her the ice and say,
or say nothing. Like hand her the ice and be like,
yeah, or that was fucked up. Here's ice.
Yeah, like
come on.
I don't know. Just, anyway.
It was weird.
Elliot bothers me in the beginning, but later on I love him from the beginning, but he bothers me, annoys me.
Back to present day, Emma is set on not doing this wedding until Hazel posts on social media about her meeting with their wedding planner, and all of a sudden, Emma gets 2,000 new followers. She knows she has to do it to grow her business and clientele, so she sends Jackie and Hazel the vendor list, and they respond back about booking some time with Elliot, who, as we know, is her ex and the florist for their wedding. And to do this, they want to meet before Hazel has to leave for the film. So Mar, her ex-stepsister / best friend / photographer, calls on Emma's behalf, but Elliot immediately knows and demands to talk to Emma, and Emma freaks out. But answers, and they schedule time to meet, and she goes into the bathroom and sobs. So obviously
Emma.
It ended very badly, and they haven't worked together, let alone talked, since they broke up a few years ago, which was like
rough.
2 or 3 years.
That's real rough. But like, it's funny to me that they thought that they would never like end up talking again or something. Like, you're a florist, particularly catering to the wedding market. You're a wedding planner. Like, I'm sorry.
Also, like, how they break up, I'm like, you didn't have a conversation after that? Like, not one?
It was crazy. We'll get there, but it was crazy. I was like, what? I kind of get it, but anyway.
This book was, like, unrealistic, like, extremely unrealistic, but, like, cute. Like, it was a good, entertaining story.
Yeah, like, there's definitely some things that would never happen in real life.
Like that. Like, they would have they would have had to talk.
Yeah.
So it flashes back again to Elliot 3 years, 8 months, 2 weeks, and 1 day ago. We learn that he is resentful of the fact that he had to quit college and take over the flower shop since it has been in the family for generations. Unlike last flashback, though, he agrees that flowers are indeed better than people, like his dad said. Emma comes into the store to make a connection, saying she's branching out on her own as a wedding planner instead of under Whitney. Her and Whitney are on good terms. She just wanted to work with less extravagant budgets, and they agree that, you know, Emma won't encroach on Whitney's clients. Of course, Elliot is pretty rude to her. He loves pushing her buttons and watching it play out on her face, and pretty much he's like, yeah, Whitney wouldn't let you do this if she thought you were going to succeed. And she's just like, huh?
And he speaks facts the whole time about Whitney. And the fact that she's just like, oh no, like, Whitney helped me to be who I am.
Yeah.
Girl.
Nah. While they're talking, he makes a little bouquet for her that through the flowers essentially says, you're immature and I resent you, go away.
I loved this.
So funny.
I loved it because it's encroaching on like enemies to lovers like a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because like, you can tell that he's like fascinated with her in the beginning, but like maybe not quite like infatuated with her, obviously, or like at least interested in her in that way yet. But like the chemistry that they have is like so on point from the beginning. And like the fucking flowers where he's like, this is what these secret flowers mean and stuff.
Yeah.
Cute.
Very
it was
cute.
Really cute.
I loved that a lot.
I know.
I thought it was so funny.
Because
I was like, yes.
The flowers are saying like basically like fuck you, but he still like went around the shop and like handpicked
the flowers
and gave it to her.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It is. I mean, he does it for everyone, but
he does it for, but I love it. I ate it up.
It's very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Back to present day, we are still in March, and Hazel and Jackie share their proposal story, which is pretty much them planning on proposing to each other at the same time. And then it was funny because one of them like proposes and the other one screams and like runs upstairs and brings down her ring.
Yeah.
And the one that was standing down was like standing there, was like,
wait a minute.
Uh-oh, your whole
not
entire
right.
family's right here. Like,
yeah. It was cute.
They're getting in as much planning as they can before Hazel has to leave. Also, timeline unattainable. Their budget is $250K.
Insanity. That's a home. Maybe not a home now. It used to be the price of
a small shack.
a small shack in Texas. Yeah, that's insane. For a wedding?
God, I wish.
I'm sorry. I'm not using that money on a wedding. Like if I have that money, I'm using it on something else.
I wish I had enough money to spend on
just any shit like that.
Like
I would, yeah, I mean, obviously I wish. I wish we had unlimited funds. That'd be lovely. But yeah, I'm not fucking spending $250K on a wedding. That's insane to me.
That is very insane. Oh. And they're my age. Like that's so
another
unreal.
Thing. And I know it's like mostly Hazel because like she's like a celebrity or whatever. But like,
and Jackie's family's rich.
Jackie's family is also like money. It's insane.
It is. She's worried about intruding on Whitney's market because it's, you know, like a high budget wedding, but it's pretty apparent to the reader that Elliot is right and Whitney didn't think that Emma would make it this far. But Emma's just like, la la la.
She's just too trusting in people.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Before she goes to Blooming, Elliot's shop for their meeting, she stops at Whitney's. She missed all the people there and it was hard for her to leave. But as we mentioned, she found more satisfaction doing budget weddings than six-figure weddings. Whitney never liked that Emma was likable and was invited to bridal showers and bachelorette parties, but she still seems supportive of Anna, to her face at least, with the Hazel wedding and is helping her find vendors in their price range. However, when she calls those vendors later, they're all booked up.
Of course, by Whitney.
Annoyed. That's such a shady move.
Because the scene in the book, it's like Emma goes to talk to Whitney, just like, I think for advice, right? Or just like, hey, like, I'm doing this wedding. Like, what do you think or whatever? And like Whitney opens up like a schedule of like her dates that she's booked weddings, and the date for Hazel and Jackie's wedding is like not on there.
Yeah.
But then suddenly when it's time for Emma to call like all these vendors, it's like they're all booked up by Whitney.
Yeah. Like 4 weddings that day.
4 weddings by Whitney on that day. And then so Emma's like, well, did she lie to me or did like I get the date wrong? It's like, no, girl, she set you up.
Yeah.
Insane.
At the flower meeting with the brides, Elliot doesn't look at Emma the entire time they're there. He makes a pink and fall bouquet for them because he just like somehow knows that's the colors that they wanted, like just by looking at them. He completely redesigned the back room to be a flower studio like Emma had suggested when they were dating, and she's shocked and impressed by it. He is working on a flower and light dance floor, which was described really cool. Mm-hmm. I would have loved that. Mm-hmm. However, probably pricey.
Probably thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Yes.
Dead ass. Yeah. Insane. Just to dance on? We're dancing on the grass, baby. Barefoot.
Emma is a little taken aback that Jackie knows Elliot like intimately, and as they leave, she talks about how hot he is and how his mom says he doesn't date. She says the last girl he was with broke his heart last fall, not 2 years ago. And Emma is a little devastated by that. It's almost like she still loves him.
I know. Wake up, girly. Whitney is sabotaging you and you're still in love with Elliot. She can be the Lulu.
She's
I don't blame
like,
her.
She's
Pain.
the definition of like millennial Delulu. Like,
yeah, I see it.
Flashback to Elliot 3 years, 6 months, and 6 days ago. Elliot's trying to figure out how to do social media when Emma follows him on Instagram. She loves his work and sets up a meeting for them to do one of her mom's wedding. So I think it's like 13th or 14th at this point. He guesses her name. It's Amaryllis, and he makes her a boutonniere of amaryllis and baby's breath, and she pins it to the front of her shirt for an on-site meeting they have later that day.
That's beautiful.
It's very sweet.
Beautiful. Also, Amaryllis is a cool name.
It's such a cool name.
Such a cool name.
So let me ask you, Alex, are you a flower girly? Like, do you like real flowers?
Yeah, I do. I would say I'm more of like a wildflower girly.
Like
But
pick it from the grass yourself. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I don't know. Like I like a peony. I like those like roses. There aren't roses that also look like a peony. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Well,
I'm not a flower girly. I know
you don't like flowers?
I know nothing about flowers. My wedding bouquet was wood.
Yeah.
Like they're on my bookshelf.
Yeah. That's okay. You don't have to be a flower girly.
Like it's sweet when Shelby brings like if Shelby brings them home, but he doesn't because I don't like them. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna die. Like why?
They're not for everyone.
Yeah.
I would rather you buy me a plant, to be honest.
Yeah, a plant or like chocolates, a
Or,
gallon of
something
ice
I can
cream.
eat.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's fun. Like it's fun and sweet. Like thanks for thinking of me. But like
I think if you went out and picked the flowers yourself, like I would have more appreciation for them, which I think is why I like wildflowers.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, like a plant or food. Yeah.
also for anyone getting married or in weddings coming up, if you have real flowers, they are wet at the bottom because they have to be like in water, right? And so when you hold it on your dress, it'll get wet. So you have to like hold it away.
Hold it away. You don't think about that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then it just feels weird. You have to like angle it a certain way. It's a whole thing.
I'm trying to picture what I would have as like a what's it called, bouquet, but that is so far down the road. Anyway.
Yeah, mine's mainly like roses, I think.
Cute.
And dahlias, I think.
Ooh, dahlias are pretty.
I don't know. I like sent the inspiration because our wedding venue included flowers in their package. And so I sent them what I wanted. And they were like, yeah, these are all fake flowers.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, well, I really want a navy flower. And they're like, yeah, that doesn't exist.
Solid.
And I was like, okay, fake flowers it is.
Yeah, I mean fake. Like Anna, you keep it forever.
Yeah.
I'll probably carry like a sprig of orange.
Just I
can
see
carry
like a flower crown, like a real flower crown I could see.
Yeah, I would love something like that. That's what I did at my mom's wedding. Like I had like blue flowers in my hair.
Yeah.
But maybe a sprig of evergreen to keep Krampus away.
Getting married during Christmas, like
No.
but yeah. So
Beautiful.
Anyway. Elliot posts a picture on Instagram and gets a call from Emma a few minutes later telling him to take it down, which I thought was really funny.
She's so ballsy.
I know.
I love it because she gives no fucks. You know, she's like, yeah, I'm going to message this man at 11 at night.
Yeah. And then I'm going to call him to take down an Instagram post.
Yeah, be like, this post is
IRL.
ugly.
Yeah.
Take it down.
A few hours later, she shows up with Mar to take pictures of his shop and like for the social media and whatnot. And he's thrown off by how attracted he is to her. And Mar gets a few pictures of them like touching. And
I thought that was cute. Mara's a real one for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want her story.
I want Mara's story.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
So they schedule a couple of posts and they like kind of hint at flirting. So Emma's having a hard time back in the present day getting inspired by Jackie and Hazel's wedding. She realizes that Whitney must have blacklisted her from the vendor list, as we have already talked about, because no one's available on October 7th. She goes to the rose garden and just like sits there and like contemplates. And then she calls Jackie to be like, can you meet me here? And she asks her why the rose garden. And she explains just kind of like the nostalgia factor and being young and dreaming. Like that's essentially what the rose garden means to her. So she gets a unique idea to like close off the whole entire park and block off the perimeter and the streets. There's an Airbnb nearby that they can use to get ready. Maybe they can rent some horse-drawn carriages to take them to the reception area. And like by the end of this meeting, Emma believes that her and Elliot could just like do anything. So very cute.
Very cute.
What did you think your wedding would look like when you were growing up?
Oh, brother. I think I mentioned this. That was such a long sigh. I think I mentioned this before, but like the guy I was dating in high school, I thought we were literally gonna like wear camo to prom together.
Yep.
So at that point, I was very much like Little Miss Country, Little Miss, like, we're going to be out in the back woods.
Like slaughtering deer.
Lots of burlap. There was a lot of burlap on my Pinterest. I don't know what was in the air or like what sort of brainwashing I had when I went to Wiley. That is like not my style at all.
It's Wiley. It's Wiley.
That's like, literally why. Yeah, it's like literally Wiley. Shout out to you Wileyans out there. But now, when I was little, I definitely wanted like a lot of flowers, like wildflowers, like kind of what I was talking about. And like, I don't know, I just pictured myself really like in a long veil and like handsome man. And that's pretty much it. Like, I just kind of like maybe sparklers were included in that. Just kind of like scenes of us, me in a long veil with the flowers and the sparklers.
Yeah.
I didn't have any specifics.
Yeah, I didn't either. I never really pictured it.
Yeah. I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it, to be honest.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And I really like how our wedding turned out.
I think y'all's wedding was beautiful.
It was like just all around like very perfect
like
for us.
10 out of 10. It suited y'all very well.
Yeah.
And everyone had
like,
a great time.
Yeah, it was just a party and that's like what we wanted.
Yeah. And that's, to me, that's the main thing about weddings, like the vibes, like how is the couple having fun, and also like are the guests having fun?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, mainly the couple, obviously, but yeah.
It's now April in the present day, and Emma's car has 1,000 lights going off on it, of course. So she walks to the flower shop for their next meeting. They meet there, but Hazel and Jackie are running late, and it's very awkward. They were together for about a year, and she wonders if she wasted his time. This little section broke my heart. He's a couple years older than her, and she thinks of how he could be married with kids by now. She thinks to herself that she's glad that he had someone after her because she's not worth the 3 years of like being apart, even though she hasn't really been with anyone else ever since then.
It's sad. The way they obviously care so much about each other, you know, like it's like, even though they're separated at this point, it's just heart-wrenching.
Yeah. It's so sad.
It is very sad because it is facts. And like to think about his dad and like how his dad is not in this, you know, he died because he had cancer and like just all of that stuff. It's sad.
And they just never like closed anything. So
there was no
like,
closure. Yeah. There was no like resolution. Not that you have to have closure, like, but like
it was all very unresolved and just
the way they left it.
Yeah.
Insane.
It definitely seems like Hazel and Jackie are intentionally trying to throw them together at this point, since Jackie suggests Elliot help Emma with her car. While discussing flowers, Hazel says she wants something exotic, so he talks about different flowers and includes amaryllis, waving his hand at her. And Emma freezes, but the girls pounce, asking, you know, like what that means. She describes the Greek myth about a girl who loved a florist, and she stood outside his house trying to get him to notice her. She carved a golden arrow on her heart for 30 days until a flower popped out of her chest, and that's when he noticed her.
Isn't that crazy? That story, stop it right now. Like, if you think about so many things in the book, like, come on. Because at first, she noticed him, right? He did not notice her when they were like working weddings together. And then if you think about what happens later in the book, oh my God, just it's perfect.
Yeah.
And I love that amaryllis is like an actual flower and part of a Greek story.
Me too. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
And he doesn't keep them in the store anymore either.
He keeps them somewhere else.
One of the girls asks what it looks like, but he doesn't carry amaryllis in the store anymore. Once they're finished at the store, they all go back to Emma's so Elliot can take a look at her car and the ladies can continue to plan. He comments on a nail in her tire that they both know have been there for years. It's all awkward and uncomfortable for Emma, but the girls seem to like relish in it.
I love this because, again, they care so much about each other. And like, it's funny how Elliot gets so angry about her car. Like, it happens over and over again in the book. It's hilarious to me. And she does nothing.
No.
I can relate, Emma.
Mm-hmm. Emma and the brides-to-be then go to the abandoned building that was Jackie's dance studio growing up. It looks pretty shabby, but has great potential if they can be creative and throw lots of money at it, which they have. They have Elliot come to check it out, and she realizes he has a new tattoo peeking out of his collar, and she'll never be able to ask what it is or trace it with her fingers. So he has 6 tattoos previously, and they all are of endangered flowers.
Hot. With a capital H.
My note is, I swear if it's not an amaryllis on his heart like the Greek myth, I'ma be pissed.
LOL.
More to come.
Foreshadowing.
So far, I already mentioned this, but I really like how we can see that she still likes him, but you wouldn't know if he still liked her if we didn't have his past point of view.
Yeah.
So again, flashback. He does a wedding for her and she doesn't have enough florals, so she begs him to go back to his shop and get more. She keeps asking him for help throughout the wedding and he finally has enough, so they start screaming at each other and then all of a sudden they're making out.
Hot. I love that. As soon as they started yelling at each other, I was like, they're going to make out. I was like, this is when they're first going to bang.
Yep.
Hot.
Yep. So she jacks him off and he's about to handle her when she gets a call that she's needed at catering, and he practically begs her to stay, but she says, next time.
Bad bitch energy.
And all he can think about is how to make it next time sooner. And that's very cute. In present day, Emma wakes up from a sex dream of him and she's not sure what to do with that. She gets a call from her mom and she's already expecting that things didn't work out well with her 16th husband, whatever, and expecting that she'll want to move back in with her for a couple weeks until...
Messy.
Yeah.
If you're a mother that has that, like, amount of resources, like, you need to be staying on your own and, like, figuring out your shit. Like, you can't be, like...
Just always own a house. Just always have a house.
Have a house. Buy a house and just keep it. Or like a lake property or something that you can just retire to when you break up with your next man. Like, it's messy to be like, first of all, having that many husbands. No judgment if you've had multiple divorces, but like that many divorces, I'm judging you.
Again, unrealistic.
And also don't like rely on your daughter like that.
No. All the vendors meet at Jackie's childhood home where they will be hosting the rehearsal dinner. Jackie asks if Emma is dating anyone, obviously seeking to set her up with Elliot. Once they're finished planning the rehearsal dinner, Emma tries getting George to ride in her car to avoid riding with Elliot, but of course Elliot agrees to come. He loses it when he sees all of the warning lights still on in her car and refuses to even look in her direction the rest of the day. And this is very apparently a frequent argument they had when they were together.
I love it. Cute.
Flashback to Elliot, 3 years, 4 months, and 2 weeks ago. He's regretting not calling Emma after their little fling. When he sees a voicemail on the shop phone waiting for him, she's bringing a couple in with donuts, of course, just to get under his skin. And he can tell just by her voice that she's excited to see him. As Elliot talks to the couple, Emma distracts him by eating a donut very suggestively.
I thought this was cute.
Then she walks the couple out after the meeting, and once he's alone with the donuts, Elliot tries one just to have the satisfaction of telling Emma he hated it. So Emma walks back in as if she owns the place, walking towards the workstation to sit on top of it, suggesting improvements to his business. I'd be so pissed.
She's a bad little bitch. I like her a lot.
They start making out and Emma realizes that Elliot tried the peanut butter donut and that she's deeply allergic to peanut butter.
This was so funny because
she tells him to remain calm and she promptly passes out on the table. He thinks, I stare at this beautiful girl I've clearly killed.
His like POV during this whole part was hilarious to me.
It was so funny.
He's like on 911 and the 911 operator is like, okay, can you follow instruction? And he's like, no. Like, okay. I'm like, and it's so funny.
Well, and he's like, they're like, what happened? And he's like, I don't know. I was just kissing this girl.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know her.
Like, And he doesn't know her, which is
No.
funny. Yeah.
So he finds her EpiPen and he stabs her with it. She wakes up and vomits on the table. He takes her to the hospital and has an awkward meet and greet with her mom. It's so
what a
funny.
time.
They part ways and he realizes that he came with her in the ambulance. So he just circles around the parking lot and walks home.
Like, obviously to the readers, like, this man is already deeply in love, right? But like to him, he's like in this whirlwind.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened? Like, who is this girl? Oh,
Why am I acting this way?
why am I acting this way? Why am I circling this hospital parking lot?
A couple days later, Elliot is still beating himself up for not taking her on a date. Something feels right about her having known his dad, and he's realizing that his feelings are stronger than just some hookup. Yeah, no shit. They hook up again at another wedding, and it's funny because her lipstick and makeup aren't smearing, and he gets aggravated by that and says, "I want you to look debauched when I'm debauching you."
I thought that was cute.
I thought that was so funny.
That was so funny. I was like, Elliot. And he asks her, I love this part. He asks her what lipstick she's wearing, like the brand.
Yeah.
And she says it's Hazel Renee's.
Yeah.
Cute. Synchronicities.
Yeah, because she wears Hazel Renee like makeup and like makeup setting spray and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Emma asks to see his tattoos of extinct or endangered flowers, something that she's completely enamored with. She says, "I want to know you. I want to know what you like, what you hate, even if it's me."
I like that part a lot because obviously she's really starting to have strong feelings for him too, no matter what the fuck she says. Because that girl be going on about like how she doesn't do long-term relationships or anything. But
sure. In present day, it's June and Emma meets with Jackie and Hazel. They invite her to their bachelorette, which she knows is crossing a boundary. She tells them she'll think about it, knowing she won't go, but she really likes them. They announce that they have been approached by a TLC reality TV show about celebrity weddings, and they want to cover the Hazel Renee wedding, and they agree to it. Later, Emma and Mar get drunk after another wedding, and she's woken up by an early call from Elliot. She's super hungover, and Mar is in bed next to her. He tells her that the specific exotic flower that Hazel and Jackie selected for their wedding is in a supply shortage because of a hurricane. The reality show decides to film Elliot breaking the bad news to the couple, and they head to Blooming to film.
this is funny. Like, is this how reality TV actually works? I bet it is. But like, just the fact that they're like, okay, well, we need to film this setup. Anyway,
the producer almost hands Emma a chocolate peanut butter bar to eat, and Elliot smacks it out of her hand before she can eat it. Elliot's already in a pissy mood about having to be on film and then thinking she was with a guy this morning. But he still runs across the street to get her some yellow Gatorade, which is her favorite, and something to eat.
he's so adorable. Like, he's so grumpy all the time and like so serious and so like rude to people. But then he's like, "You will not eat this peanut butter bar."
Like
I'm also gonna get you Gatorade across.
Like he's so mad about doing nice things for her.
Like he like does really sweet and endearing things, but he's like mad about it, which I think is adorable.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Hazel, of course, is upset about the flowers, and Elliot and Emma reassure Hazel and Jackie that they just need to redesign and it'll be fine. Another flashback to Elliot. Elliot questions where he stands with Emma when doesn't he? When she comes up. When she comes up ready to hook up in his truck at another wedding. They continue to hook up at various weddings until he finally gets the balls to ask her to dinner. At dinner, they discuss how Elliot went to school for architecture, but left when his dad got sick. And Emma encourages him to go back eventually, which I don't think I included in the notes, but he does end up going back and getting his architecture degree.
Love.
They discuss the shop, and Elliot states that flowers are better than people. And that's a saying that his dad used to say. And Emma says that he used to say that to her as well. And that he gave her a handkerchief with his initials on it before he died, which is the one from the groomsmen situation.
I love that she kept it.
I know.
It's almost like she knew how like special it was, even though she didn't really know the dad or Elliot at that point. You know, I love it.
Yeah.
Just cute.
They talk about her experience under Whitney, and Elliot sees all of the red flags, wanting her to see the red flags as well. Basically saying that after Emma left, Whitney copied all of her designs and put them off as her own. After dinner, they go back to Bang and Emma's Camry. Literally in the middle of sex, Elliot sees all of the warning signs for the first time on her car and like has to stop and fix her car.
I love this so much because like she's literally riding him and he's like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I need to fix your car. Like, I need to take a look at it. And it's just cute. It's just funny.
It is. Sweet. In July, present day, the TV crew wants to stage a wedding outfit try-on, even though the couple already has their outfits. The salon was able to reschedule everyone except one client, and of course, it's Whitney herself. Whitney is being a petty bitch and saying underhanded comments to Emma passive-aggressively, despite Hazel's bragging about her. And then when Hazel slips that Emma was invited to the Bachelorette, Whitney is so judgmental and annoying about it. She's like, well, it's your business, Emma. Fuck off. In a flashback, Elliot posts a picture of a rose wall on Instagram, and Whitney Harrison immediately reaches out to him, and he sets the boundary saying that any installation will be separate than any discount that his dad gave him before.
Period.
Snaps.
Yeah.
Emma stops by the store and she asks Elliot if he is seeing other people. They talk about Emma's mother and her history of 14 at the time ex-husbands, and how Emma does not do long-term relationships, but that she does see a future with Elliot. Elliot reassures her that he doesn't let go of things easily. You may think,
eyes.
He says, you may think everything ends one day, but you haven't had everything with me.
I thought that was cute. Because at this point, I was so frustrated with Elliot because it's like, again, like we're seeing his POV in the past and like how enthralled he was with Emma, like this whole time, like just waiting to like see her again, excited to like obviously have sex and like whatever, hook up at the weddings, but like be with her and like get to know her. And like he does none of that, you know, like he lets her take charge for like a majority of the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And like doesn't really say anything to her. And so at this point I'm like, okay, well finally.
Yeah. They immediately, well, okay. Alex wrote half these notes, and every time they had sex, she goes, got down to biz. It was so funny. So it kept happening, and I was like, I'm not going to say that every
biz.
time. Like,
and I spelled it B-I-Z.
She did. Well, but I did keep this one. Yeah.
I mean, what else are we going to say? We can't say like, well, they banged. All right. They fucked in his truck.
I did change it.
So, you know,
so
they got down to biz.
They immediately get down to biz again on Elliot's work table. There are rose petals and potting soil everywhere. They are soon interrupted by his mother, the senator, banging at the door. Emma goes around the back and comes inside pretending like she left her purse, but she's like covered in soil and like...
This was a beautiful scene. I loved this scene. It was like the rose petals.
It was
like
sweet.
Romantic, and like I liked it.
I would have hated it.
I know you would have hated it. We already talked about getting down to biz in the dirt.
I don't like dirt. She has come by. Okay, so his mom came by to tell Elliot that her boyfriend proposed, which he already knew about, and she's more interested. But she's more interested in Emma. Elliot tells her, you know, exactly what's going on. And his mom decides to hire her as her wedding planner.
I thought this was cute. Like the mom clearly knows what's happening.
Obviously.
Like they're being so obvious. Elliot's like basically like word vomiting. Like he's like, oh yeah, she's a wedding planner and like she was just here, blah, 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 yesterday. She's here to get her purse. And like his mom's like, okay, so y'all got down to biz. And then she's like, let's hire her for my wedding.
Well, she's like walking out and she's like, oh yes, my keys immediately. Like, no, she didn't just leave her purse.
It's funny that they thought that was like slick, or that Emma thought that was like, first of all, I'd be in the back hiding the whole time.
Of course.
I would never, ever, ever try to come around the front immediately. You have dirt under your fingernails, homegirl, and you're like, oh, left my purse
yesterday.
You're crazy. You're funny.
They haven't had a second conversation to what the relationship means yet, but Elliot is laying in Emma's bed watching her menace of a cat, Lady Catherine.
Cute.
While in the shop together, Emma broaches an idea that if he fixes up his showroom / workroom, she could take meetings in there for potential clients, and it could be like a partnership. He says, I want to tell her that I'm only at my best when I'm working with her, but I think she knows it. And it's fun because both of them say that, like, about the other. Like, they are at their best when they work together.
They think the same. And it just makes sense. Like, yeah, like he's a florist, she's a wedding planner. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Business-wise, also just romantic-wise. I love it.
Yeah. They continue planning his mother's wedding, and he tries to understand the rules of their relationship because she does not make it easy for him. Suggesting that they go on a trip to Napa. He's resolved that after his mother's wedding, he's going to ask to redefine the relationship with her. Falling in bed, he asked her favorite part about weddings, and she says the proposal. He finds this is interesting because it's the part that she's never there for. He then asks how she would like to be proposed to, and she says that she wouldn't.
I was like, Emma. I was like, I could see where this was going. I was like, you are about to ruin a really good fucking thing, Emma. And it's because you don't do long-term relationships because you've been burned by your mother's relationships.
No.
I don't care. No. I don't care.
You're 27.
Like, I know. I was like, girl, please. And my whole thing was just like, it's not like in the moment he was asking her right then to like, I mean, he does. We'll get there. But I'm like, well, I was going to say he doesn't ruin it, but I mean, like,
he doesn't at this point.
At this point, he doesn't. And the thing is, you can say y'all could have redefined the relationship in that moment, been like, okay, like, let's talk about this because I'm feeling things, you're feeling things, like, let's talk about it. It doesn't need to be this whole big drawn out, okay, well, we're going to get married tomorrow. Ugh.
It's crazy. Present day, we jump ahead and it's the day of the rehearsal dinner. Emma notices that as Elliot is dropping off the flowers, which are lovely, that his eyes are bloodshot and she believes he has not been sleeping because of the redesign they had to do due to the exotic flower shortage. The TV crew is there and they interview Emma for the show. Once they latch on to the story of Emma's mother and her ex-husbands, Emma immediately gets overwhelmed and goes to a quiet place to decompress because they're just like digging in and like asking unnecessary questions. And Elliot is quick to cut it off, even going so far as to bribe the cameraman to give him the footage after the night is over.
Hot,
cute.
And cute and endearing.
In a flashback, it's the night before Elliot's mother's wedding and Emma cannot sleep. So she wakes up Elliot and sees that and says that she wants to go back to her place to take a bath, to which he readily agrees. And the whole way there, she's like spouting out stuff left and right, like her to-do list. She breaks down her worries, her regrets. I don't comment. I just allow her brain to organize. When she grows quiet, I reach for and unplug the drain. I wrap her in a towel and carry her to the bedroom and make sure the alarm is set and the coffee is prepared.
Like, just the amount. It's not, okay, so it's effort, right? So the effort's there. Okay. What got me in my feelings is like the consideration, right? He's taking the time, knowing the night before.
It's like 3 a.m.
It's like 3 a.m. She first of all woke him up to go take a bath at her house. They're asleep in his bed. She's like, let's go to my house so I can take a bath. Like, okay, you're really waking me up at this hour of the night, but fine.
Go to bed.
Close your eyes. I'll be like, I'll sing you a song. Like, close. I'll read you a bedtime story.
Or
go to
I'll
bed.
see you tomorrow. Like, I'm not taking you to your house.
And you let me sleep, right?
Because, I mean, it's his mom's wedding.
Exactly. Like, she may be the wedding planner, but at the end of the day, this is his mom getting married, right? So just the fact that she was like, okay, well, let's go to my house so I can take a bath. He goes with her. They do biz in the bath, right? He listens to her blabber on about this wedding and like everything she needs to get done for like the whole entire time, and then goes even further to be like, I'm gonna make sure that everything is ready for the morning. Like the consideration is insane.
So sweet.
It's so sweet. He loves her so much.
Unrealistic.
It better be real. I mean, maybe getting up to go switch homes just for a bath is unrealistic. But
unrealistic as fuck. Not a chance. The wedding is, of course, utterly beautiful. And when they have time, Elliot asks Emma to have a dance. While slow dancing on the floor, Emma announces that she has a surprise for Elliot. It's from Harvard University at the Arboretum, and they have a Franklinia that they will allow Elliot to come and see because he's such a fan.
This is what I'm talking about.
It's one of the flowers he has tattooed on him because it's an endangered species. It's
the consideration. And for her to sit there and still say, I don't do long-term relationships. What do you mean?
What is a trip in months?
You sought out, where could you find this endangered flower? You found the one place that has it and made sure that you asked if they could have Elliot come and view it. What do you mean? Be so for real.
And this is
Emma.
New Year's, and it wouldn't be until fall.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean that's not long term?
So you don't see a future? What?
She already says she sees a future. I literally, like, she's just making shit up at this point.
It was so aggravating. It was so aggravating and so heart-wrending.
Emma announces that she may be falling in love with Elliot, and he thinks there's a flower in my chest that is just now starting to meet sunlight, finally blossoming.
Tears. Like I could cry. Like it's so...
Without thought, he says, marry me, and Emma immediately shuts him down. And he says that he just got carried away. It's fine. Like we can go on pretending like this. I didn't say anything. But she knows that's what he wants, and she can't give that to him, and she'll always feel guilty about it. And then they just never speak again. That's the last thing they say.
Seething. Yeah. I was seething with rage. I was like, what? I was so upset.
Crazy. In present day, it's wedding day. Emma has forgotten about the basin, which is an actual bathtub, which I knew from the beginning. I assumed it was an old bathtub.
I pictured a bathtub.
Yeah.
When she said basin, I was like, okay, so that's a bathtub.
Yeah.
What else would a basin? I guess like a circular,
like wooden. Why
would they have that?
I thought bathtub.
Yeah.
That Jackie's mother wanted at the wedding. She doesn't let anyone know that she needs help, and instead assumes that she can lift it herself. But she's like tiny already, and also like
delusional.
Even the strongest of women probably couldn't lift that thing.
I was trying to picture myself like trying to lift it. I'm like, I don't think I could do that. So no, Emma, what do you...
You need like 4 people.
Which the lady even said in the email, you need 4 to 6 strong men to help you lift this. And she's like, oh, I'll just go pick it up.
So when she does lift it, it falls and breaks her foot. She's lying on the ground, writhing in pain, unable to get to her phone. She's thankfully wearing her Bluetooth headphones, and Elliot just happens to call, and he comes and saves the day, bringing Jake, Sarah, and one of her other ex-step siblings. So they get the tub in, they get it all situated. Elliot refuses to let Emma go to the wedding. Instead, he takes her directly to the hospital. Seething with rage at the warning lights on her car. Emma is panicking the whole time since so much is riding on this wedding.
Oh, that was your foot. Whoops.
No.
I was like,
footsies. Elliot says, you are more important than the wedding, Emma. Very cute.
Just something she needs to remember.
They arrive at the ER, and Emma is incredibly stressed out. Elliot simply asks her to walk through her to-do list. She realizes with horror that she will not be there to cue the wedding, and Elliot heroically takes her Bluetooth and refuses to let her leave until she sees the doctor.
Even though he doesn't know how to use it. But cute.
Cute. Jackie keeps crying through her makeup, and Emma is wrangling vendors, and the TV crew keeps calling to reassure her that they're offering help if she needs it. At her highest moment of stress, she gets a call from Whitney offering to go to the wedding venue in her stead, and she absolutely refuses. Alex's note says, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
While Elliot is on the phone with Emma, he has a run-in with the cops for like permit stuff, and thankfully his senator mother is one call away and saves the day. Elliot arrives at the bride's Airbnbs to reassure them, and Emma tells him not to tell Hazel, but to go ahead and tell Jackie about her foot. So she's on the phone, like on the Bluetooth this whole time with him. When Elliot tells Jackie, she immediately starts crying, and Elliot goes to comfort her. Elliot tries to turn off the Bluetooth, but of course he doesn't know how to use it, so Emma can still hear the conversation. And essentially Jackie's kind of like getting cold feet, and he says, sometimes you just count the days, the hours, until you can be useful again. And if it ever ends, Jackie, you're still counting away. The months since, the days, the exact days since, like a tally of moments you've spent not being important to them. But don't ever think you'll wake up and not be in love with her.
Tears, real tears. Like because that's the whole thing. Like the paths, like his POV, it's counting down this whole time.
It's very sweet.
It's very sweet.
And yeah, you never you don't just like wake up and not be in love with someone either.
Yeah. Like how things ended between them was so fraught, but just to think that like they could just never talk again and then like not ever address the feelings that they had for each other. It's just, it's not realistic.
As Emma's wheelchaired around the hospital, she's giving cues to Elliot through the phone to cue the wedding. She buys a pair of shoes in the gift shop and orders an Uber to the wedding. When she spots Whitney getting out of the TV crew's van, she immediately asks the TV producer what Whitney was doing there, and the producer is confused since Whitney told her that Emma asked for her to come. Emma immediately tells Whitney that she asked her not to come and confronts her about her overbooking her vendors for the day. She tells Whitney to back the fuck away from her wedding, and Whitney ends up calling her an ungrateful bitch, to which Emma badassly responds with, Whitney, come on, be a professional.
I love this part.
Yeah.
I love this part. Whitney is so shady. Fuck her.
All of this is caught on the reality TV cameras, and other than this, the wedding comes together very beautifully, thanks to Emma and Elliot's hard work. Fuck Whitney, though.
Mm-hmm.
Hazel tells Emma that because of the spectacular wedding, she has a ton of friends who are recently engaged who want Emma as their wedding planner. Elliot and Emma find each other through the madness, and after such a crazy day, Emma tells Elliot how thankful she is and how special he is as a person. He smiles at me, and it's the first time I've seen it directed towards me since he asked me to marry him. My heart hurts with the absence of that. She tells Elliot that she loves him, and he steps back and says that he can't do it again.
Pain. It hurts. It hurts a lot.
We flash back to Emma's point of view of Elliot's mom's wedding, and she's hiding in a closet. She thinks that maybe she could forget what they said and move on like nothing happened until she hears him crying in the hallway outside the closet she's in, and realize that she'll always think of him crying in the hallway when she said no.
For those who are not watching, I'm shaking my head. Emma and Elliot, I was honestly mad at her in this moment because just to give up everything, because in my opinion you're too cowardly to face how affected someone was because of your actions. It's just kind of and then to throw it all away when she too was really happy. I don't know, it just broke my heart.
Crazy.
Broke my heart.
She gets home and her mom is waiting outside of her house. Another breakup. She realizes after talking with her mom that she can't be with Elliot. She thinks, I could make a promise to Elliot that will only get broken, but why would I put him through that? Why agree to marriage or even just going back to what we had when I know that it will end? It will, because he wants something I don't believe in. Why begin when it will end? Go to therapy.
Go to therapy, babe.
So the day after the Hazel Renee wedding, so present day, Emma talks to Mar about what happened with Elliot the night before. Mar asks what Emma wants, and she says to be with him, and Mar asks for how long, and Emma's silent. She realizes that she wants to be with him forever. Emma drives to Blooming to see Elliot, and she says, I kissed you because I miss you, because I still want you, because I shouldn't have left your mother's wedding, and I shouldn't have given you the gift of the Frankelina and then made you feel like we weren't even close to talking about forever.
Yeah.
Because we were forever. I just didn't want marriage.
I mean, she's spitting facts.
That's a correct apology.
That is a correct apology and something that you should have said. Maybe not if you couldn't handle it in the moment, I get it. But like
the next day,
later that
couple
week.
Days, yeah.
But to just never, like, to physically leave the wedding and like literally never talk to him again after that for years. The emotional scarring.
I don't know if I would have forgiven her that quickly.
I don't think I could have. I really don't. If someone did that to me, like, I'm now questioning you as a person because like we can't talk about it.
Well, I also would have reached out. I would have been like, okay, so we're over, yeah? Like,
what happened?
Yeah.
I think I'd be too stunned. Like, at first I'd be too stunned to even like the heartbreak wouldn't even hit me at first. I think I'd be shocked. And then I'd be like in this moment of like mute and deafness. And then I would sob and then we would talk about it.
So she kneels down on the floor and proposes to Elliot next to the workbench in the shop where she first fell in love.
This is cute.
I loved that
a lot. Yeah, bad bitch energy.
Now it switches to Elliot's point of view in the present. It's been 2 years, 9 months, 1 week, and 3 days since we've been back in the room alone together like this, and all the memories flooded in with her when she crossed the threshold.
Oh.
She says that she overheard his conversation with Jackie and how she still loves him, and he says none of this is necessary. She gets discouraged thinking like he was talking about someone else when he was on the phone talking to Jackie, and asks if they can still work together at least. And then she asks who he was talking about, and he responds with, someone I met 5 years, 4 months, 3 weeks, and 5 days ago. She sobs, they kiss, and it feels like the beginning.
Yay. Beautiful.
Alex's commentary in all caps. They're in love and they're making love on the workbench again. And he has a new tattoo of, you guessed it, an amaryllis.
In all caps.
So back to Emma's point of view, she's asking about this new tattoo, and he says, it was never about extinction, the tattoos. They're ones that I can't have, ones that can't be used in arrangements, can't be kept in the shop, ones that are likely to disappear before I can love them.
Tears, real tears. And then he got the amaryllis tattoo. It's because you can't have her. You couldn't have her.
And it's over his heart, like
it's
the Greek.
Over his heart.
Elliot tells Emma that he's not going to marry her, but instead date the shit out of her. She tells him that he was mistaken when he thought she was with someone, and she reassures him that she wasn't able to be with anyone and that she hasn't been with anyone since him.
Beautiful.
Long time.
It's a long time. You gotta do what you gotta do.
So the epilogue is Emma's point of view 6 months later. In the mornings, I wake up and either Elliot's bed or mine, but his arms are around me just the same. I turn in his embrace and run my fingers over his eyebrows until he wakes up. When his lashes flutter open and I say, will you marry me? He shakes his head or mumbles a no or turns over and tells me to fuck off. And I say, when then? And he always says, maybe tomorrow.
That's cute. It's cute.
I loved that so much.
Cute. I want to cry.
Whitney Houston becomes a meme from the reality TV show footage. Emma's business skyrockets, and she now shares the shop space with Elliot. She still loves proposal stories, but the one that's yet to happen between her and Elliot is her favorite.
Oh my God.
The end.
The end. It was so good.
It was.
It was so much better than I thought it was going to be. And I mean, not that I thought it was going to be bad. I thought it was going to be good just from the story alone, but like at least cute. You know?
Yeah, it was a lot cuter than I thought it was going to be.
It was a lot more like endearing, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, over than just cute, you know?
And it wasn't just cute. Like it had like meaning and depth and like
depth.
grief.
The characters had depth. You felt very strongly for their story and their situation. I loved it.
Yeah, I really did too.
I loved it.
Before we get into our thoughts, I will talk about the Taylor Swift song.
Okay.
So I chose Lavender Haze on Midnights. I mainly chose this because of the lavender, like lavender's flower, obviously. But also the song is about how Taylor is fine being in a relationship without it becoming a marriage and how people just like don't get that. So
it's also one of the songs that I do like of hers.
I love Lavender Haze. It's one of my favorites. It says, I feel the lavender haze creeping up on me. Surreal. I'm damned if I do give a damn what people say. So this part kind of reminded me of like, no matter what Emma does, it's not going to be professional enough or good enough for Whitney. You know, like,
yeah,
I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't kind of thing.
Yeah. And I feel like that's Emma. Like, she's a very independent lady.
The song goes, no deal, the 1950s shit they want from me. I just want to stay in that lavender haze. All they keep asking me is if I'm going to be your bride. The only kind of girl they see is a one night or a wife. So it brings up an interesting question that I found in the reader's guide, like skimming through the back of my copy. You know, like, do we as a society put too much emphasis on weddings and marriage? Why can't people just be happy together without the pressure of marriage, you know? And the reader's guide specifically cites the first chapter when Emma encourages the bride to get married, even if she wasn't sure it was going to be her last, you know? So, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Right. I could spend hours talking about that question, and I'm sure, as you said, you could too. My 2 points are this. One, marriage was largely created as a way to ensure genetic offspring between a couple. Like, basically, like, before there was genetic testing, making sure that, like, your lineage was pure, quote unquote, because you were married, quote unquote. And then my second thing is, like, marriage has become so commodified. It's almost like fucking Christmas.
It's exactly like Christmas.
So, like, in my mind, like, I'm not trying to buy into, like, the capitalistic commodification of that. To me, if you're in love, you're in love.
Yeah.
You know, other than, like, the tax write-off, I really don't see, like, a benefit.
There isn't. I mean,
there's really not. Other than, like, for business purposes, I really don't see a benefit in, like,
medical.
marriage. And medical. That's facts. Business and medical, I don't really see, like, any other benefit.
There isn't. And
it's largely patriarchal, for sure.
Oh,
I was like,
absolutely.
patriarchal. Y'all know what I'm saying.
The men bad.
The men equal bad. Except for Elliot.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, because even with like wedding stuff, like if it's branded wedding, it's more expensive. You could get the same thing that has birthday on it. It's cheaper.
Yep. 100%.
So it is completely a scam, but it's a fun scam.
It's a fun, I'm going to say, like, it is fun. Like, it's a big party.
Yeah.
Like you said. And I like that aspect of it. Like, just having a good time with your closest friends and family in the name of love. Like, I can get behind that. Other than that, take it or leave it.
My opinion, it's whatever you want it to be. I was actually kind of like against getting married in the beginning. Like, I wasn't going to change my name. I was like, we're just doing this as like a party. Like, I don't
like a celebration.
Whatever. And then, you know, at the end of the day, like, it's more than just, weddings are more than just the bride and groom.
Yep.
Like, it's your family and all of that, and it meant a lot to our families for us to get married.
Yeah,
so
I can see that. And I get that. Like, if my family felt that strongly about it, well, I mean, I kind of want to have a wedding anyways, like, just again for the celebration. But like, if they felt really strongly about it, like, I'd be like, okay, like,
yeah.
And if y'all are paying for some of it, that's another thing.
Yeah, that's true. That does help.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what did you rate it, Alex?
I rated it 4 stars.
I did too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I love this. My 2 like things against the book, and they're small things. Again, we both loved it. Is one, like I said, it's just like kind of unrealistic. Like,
a lot of the stuff. Yeah.
I was having a great time reading it. It was a fun, entertaining story. I love an unrealistic thing, but it felt like it was trying too hard to be real at some points.
Hard to be relatable in some points. Yeah.
And then the second point for me was that I loved Elliot, but he did not have a personality. He was just a grumpy man.
Is hot. But you need to develop it.
Yeah.
He needs to be a fully functioning character. And the thing is, he did bother me at the beginning because of how little or how much inaction he put into Emma and his relationship. Even though in his mind he's thinking like, oh, she's beautiful and like I can see a future with her, but like in what he's the action wise is like not matching that.
Yeah.
So like I felt bad for Emma at the beginning. I'm like, girl, stand up, because like, is this man even worth it? But like,
well, she was just there for
a good time.
Fling, like,
yeah, and I get that, but then I don't know. I felt bad that she was taking the reins in like a lot of the time.
I think she wanted to.
I mean, she is that type of girl.
Yeah,
I don't blame her. Boss energy.
Yeah, I think just I'm pretty sure this is her first like actual novel.
Yeah.
So Soto. So I'm excited to see hopefully like the growth of her characters in the next one.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's just like figuring it out, you know?
Yeah.
But we had so many chapters with him, and like I still felt like I didn't
know him.
He was just a character, not like a person.
Yeah, I agree. I can see that. I still loved it, and I still loved Elliot.
Yeah, me too.
In the couple, but yeah.
Yeah, fantastic book. I definitely recommend. There are a couple books that I found that were like wedding themes that I recommend too. So the first one is called The Secret Bridesmaid by Katie Burchell. So she's hired to be a wedding planner in the guise of like a bridesmaid. And so she's hired to do a celebrity wedding.
Fun.
And I think falls in love with the brother or something. Or second chance romance maybe again. I don't know. The next is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. So everyone gets food poisoning at the wedding except the best man and the maid of honor. So they go on a Hawaiian honeymoon together. Except they hate each other.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's cute. Unrealistic.
Oh, yeah.
But cute.
I think I gave that one 4 stars.
Yeah.
The Spanish Love Deception, which I just read in January by Elena Armas. So she moves to America after a terrible breakup, and when she goes back for her sister's wedding like 6 years later, she gets one of her coworkers to be her fake date. But of course, they also hate each other.
Love that.
And then shout out to Caroline for recommending The Spanish Love Deception for me. She also let me borrow it, but I didn't read it until it became available on KU.
As one does.
So, yay.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm not usually a fan of second chance romances, but I did really like this one.
I did really like this one too. I did. It was really good. Julie Soto, good job. And I'm excited for your next book.
Yeah, July. We're waiting for you.
I'll be ready. Hot chalice.
So our next book for the month of March will be Wayward by Amelia Hart.
Woo!
As always, email us at @GoatPod with suggestions or book recommendations, and check out our social media @GoatPod on Instagram or TikTok, and on Facebook at All the Good Ones Are Taken. You can also find my bookstagram at Peas Reads.
Thank y'all so much for listening. This has been
All the Good Ones
Are Taken.